ever since I moved everything on this little shelf that I have my phone on usually, I like have to use this little stand, otherwise nothing stands up. So I still didn't do the black in my hair. I just have not felt like doing it, and I feel like if I do it, I'm just gonna do my whole head black and forget the friggin' color, because it's just aggravating me. This happens every time I do a section of my hair. I either want to go all one color or just take the color away, so I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I'm just leaving it for now. It is Sunday. It's a rainy, crappy day. I got like a Rubbermaid, not bucket, like a storage tote, and cut a little opening in it so that I could put it outside for when it's raining, so the cat food doesn't get all yucky, because it's happened many times where I put a bowl of food out there for them and then it starts pouring and it just ruins the friggin' cat food. So I'll put a little clip in that I put it out there to cover the food because it's been so rainy and gross yesterday and today. And Floofster is the only one that's been using it because I haven't seen Tonka or Tigger yesterday or today because it's been raining. But she won't go all the way in. She just she'll leave her butt sticking out. That's what you can see in the clip I'm gonna put in. But I thought that was funny. I have to take it in at night because if it gets too windy, the thing is gonna blow away. I haven't figured out a good way to like anchor it to the porch yet. I don't really want it there permanently anyway because, well, for one, I can't see whether the food dish is empty or full without going out there and taking the cover off and looking at it. But I just don't want it there all summer because it's kind of hard to open the back door all the way with that there. So I have to figure out either put it somewhere else, or I have to worry about my tomato plants now too, where I'm going to put those because I have planted way more of them than I thought I had. There was like 28 tomato plants altogether, something like that. So they're cherry tomatoes, not full-size tomatoes, but still. I only wanted to do a handful of them, and I ended up with a ton. I'm slowly getting caught up on all the stuff I was behind on. I've noticed that Aiden's schedule has been a little lighter. Well, he had vacation, but then this week he didn't have art class because his art teacher wasn't there. He's not going to have it this week because she's not there either. And then on Thursday he didn't have his afternoon classes because his teacher had meetings. His speech therapist had to move a whole bunch of his classes around because she has meetings and stuff coming up this month. I think there's 3 or 4 days where he has to go to her during morning meeting, which I had to tell his teacher about so that she doesn't mark him absent. He has to have speech in the morning like that instead of his regular time because she has schedules. She has meetings or something going on, and she can't take him on at his regular time. So I think there's a couple days that's going to work out good because like he doesn't have school. I didn't write it in mine, I wrote it in his. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to go and I'll talk to you guys later. Well, probably tomorrow because I have nothing going on today. I always forget how much I like headbands when they fit right because like I have some that just slide right off my head and it's so annoying to have to keep putting it back on. I don't know if I have a weird shaped head or what. I don't know. All my baby pictures I had a very round head. I was like Aiden as a baby. My head was very round and I was a fat baby. But just on days when your hair is a mess, it kind of just gets rid of all the flyaways that are mainly on me. They're always like along my hairline and on the sides, so it kind of hides how messy my hair is right now. Like I did put gel in it when I washed it, so it's kind of just super messy curls, but this part when I put it up is always like frizzy no matter what I do. So what was I doing? I have a bunch of tabs open from before Aiden's lunch break, and I don't even know what I was doing now. From during Aiden's lunch break. His teacher did just tell them that they don't have live classes in the afternoon on Thursday again, which is pretty cool. So that's just even better now because I have a dentist appointment Thursday afternoon, so I don't have to rush to finish his homework with him and stuff and then immediately have to go there. So Steven is leaving work early that day so that he can get home in time so that I can go. It is at 3:15. I was talking about it the other day and I had to check what I had written down for the time, and it is 3:15. I don't know, I always prefer to have appointments later in the day because, like, just if I go first thing in the morning, yeah, it's usually better because, like, there's no one there, but I always get, no matter what kind of appointment I'm going to, eye doctor, dentist, regular doctor, even if it was like a hair appointment or something, I get anxiety over it. So that in turn upsets my stomach. And then, like, TMI, but Steven calls them panic poops, like they call them on Bob's Burgers, because it just upsets my stomach. I can't eat. I can't do anything in the morning if I know I have a friggin' appointment for anything. It sucks. Like, I can't leave the house unprepared because it's a mess. So friggin', I usually go for the end of day appointments because if I'm like the last or second to last appointment that they have, because I believe they close at 4:30 or 5. So if I'm going at 3:15, which I've been doing for the dentist, there's usually never anybody else in there, or there's like one other person waiting for something else because they usually have the hygienist that's doing the cleanings, which is all I'm going for is the cleaning this time, and then the dentist is usually there doing his friggin' root canals or whatever else he's working on in there. So hopefully there won't be too many people in there waiting this time. There hasn't been. The last few times I've gone, I've been the only person in the waiting room, which they have, it's just a small office and they have a tiny little waiting room, but I've been the only one in there. So it is almost 3 o'clock and it's time to get caught up on stuff today. Well, just doing stuff that I had to do. Also, I am horrible at shaping my nails because, like, if you look at my pinky and my ring finger, they're naturally square and I love that shape, but I can never get my other ones to be square like that. Like, they always want to be round. But anyway, I did this dip powder, which is from Sparkle & Co. I've had it a long time. That's just been sitting and I never used it because I thought from the looks of it on the outside of the container, I had never opened it. It just looked like a blah pastel yellow. And then I was like, I've never tried this one. I'm going to try this one. I did this last night. And it's got this really cool, like, iridescent sparkle in it. I think it's called Sunshine in Paradise or something like that. But it's really pretty. I got this with a freebie when I had ordered their neon set. Either last summer or the summer before. I don't know. But it's one I'm definitely going to be using now because I didn't realize it was nice and pretty like this. Okay, I get all kinds of houses for sale in Maine in my emails because of when we were looking for houses in Maine. And, like, this is what I'm talking about. Am I crazy for wanting a house like this? Like, it's a total fixer-upper. There's a bunch of stuff that needs to be done inside because I was just looking at it. But it's, like, old and it looks like it's, like, something out of friggin' Texas Chainsaw Massacre or something. But, like, I love that in a house, like, character and old, and it's not a Victorian, which is what I would ideally love someday, but it's just a cool looking house. And it's like, look, this is what I'm talking about. $139,000 for a 4-bedroom, 1.5 bathroom house, 1,500 square feet. A house like that around here would be like, even if it was a fixer-upper, they're like $400,000 and up. If that house was here in Massachusetts, $400,000 easy, probably way more. Yeah, I said I was going to be done for the day talking, but I saw that and I was like, I have to talk about, like, my love for old houses. I don't know what it is because when I'm not going to say when I was little, but, well, yeah, when I was a kid, before my parents divorced, we lived in a house that was, like, really old and creepy and had been there for like, I don't know exactly when that house was built, but it was old enough that like the cellar, it's like they called it a cellar, they didn't even call it a basement, was all, you couldn't really use it for anything. It was basically, you went down there to refill the coal in the freaking coal heater, because that's how old it was. We had to get coal deliveries and shovel coal into the friggin' furnace to heat the house. But it was like, it had to have been built in the 1800s. But my mom always swore that that house was haunted, that like the street, well, if I talk about that, I'm going to be giving away where my grandmother lives. But the street is named after a river that's near my grandma's house, because like we lived right across the street from my grandma, which was always weird because my parents got divorced and then my dad still lived right across the street. But where was I going with this? The street that my grandma lives on was named after the river, which is named after the captain that owned the house that we lived in when I was growing up. He had built the house way back when. Like I said, it had to have been 1800s, like late 1800s. I'm trying to remember. Should have paid more attention to all the stories my mom used to tell me, but she swears that house was haunted by his ghost, and that like she would have to go down to the cellar to put coal in the furnace, and she always felt like someone was looking over her shoulder or like tapping on her or something. And I don't know, something has always intrigued me about ghost stories and ghosts and haunted places and stuff. Like, I don't know how much I believe in it, but it's very intriguing. So I've kind of always wanted a haunted looking house. Not like, I wouldn't want evil things in there, like friggin' throwing things and trying to hurt us or anything, but I don't know, I just like creepy houses. And like a lot of those houses, like the ones I just showed you, like a lot of the houses that we looked at in Maine were pretty old and they all had creepy basements, and I was like, oh my god, that's so cool, maybe there's like a hidden room somewhere. I don't know. You're probably all gonna think I'm crazy because that's friggin' nuts to be talking about and hoping for that in a house, because people just want like, I want to build a house from scratch, and like, that's cool too. For one, I'll probably never be able to afford to do that, but two, they're too like cookie cutter, and unless you can like totally design it yourself, I don't know. I don't want a house that's built in like a, what do you call it, like a little neighborhood where all the houses look alike. That was kind of like how Steven's grandma's neighborhood was when we lived there. Like the houses were kind of different, but they all looked the same. I don't know, there's just not enough character in it for me. I like weird looking houses, different looking houses, old stuff. Just something about old houses for me. And like the idea of like who lived here before and what were they like, and I don't know. I'm just weird like that, I guess. But yeah, I'm gonna show this one to Steven when he gets home. It's got like so much stuff that needs to be done inside. Like it's got just drywall in some of the rooms, and you have to, but like that's cool too because he knows how to do a bunch of that stuff. He used to build houses. He knows how to do all that stuff. Obviously the outside needs work and to be painted. It's got a brand new roof. They said that like a bunch of stuff has been, many updates done in and out of the home the past 2 months, including new windows, plumbing, wiring, sheetrock, and more. Well, the roof looks brand new, but they didn't mention that. I don't know, but it's 6 miles away from the town we were gonna live in had that house worked out for us a couple of years ago. So it's in that same area. That was like, we researched where we would want to be if we moved up there, because like we both agreed that we didn't want to be super far away from like grocery stores and like the bank and stuff that you just need every day. So like this town, far enough away from like the busy parts of Maine which would be like Bangor and stuff like that, where everybody goes to, and it's more expensive there. So it's way further up north. But this town in particular had like all the amenities and all the stuff you would need. So we wanted to be within like 10-15 miles of this area. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought this house was pretty cool. I looked at it and I'm like, it looks creepy from the outside. It's just like I think it's just that picture of it. It's very like, it looks like it's ominous, and just the coloring of it, I guess. I don't know. It reminded me of a horror movie. So I just thought that was funny, and I wanted to talk about my love for old houses, because someday I would like to get one that's like a fixer-upper like that, and just make it 100% my own inside. Just super, super cool stuff everywhere. You would think that like I would want everything black, but I really don't want an entirely black house. Like maybe our bedroom, because black paint is just like, I feel like it would be too dark for an office, definitely, because I feel like I don't have enough light in here as it is, with just the light up there and then the desk lamp. I need a better, that's a ceiling fan, and the fan part's broken. So before it gets super hot again, I want to get a new ceiling fan for in here, and we need one in our bedroom too. So I'm just going to get 2 of the same ones and try and get one that has like 3 lights on it, because this one only has 1 globe light in the middle, and it's never bright enough in here, even though I have the daylight bulb in that. I put daylight bulbs in every room of anywhere that I live anyway, because I can't stand soft white and that yellow cast that it gives everything. The only room that needs a different light is the upstairs bathroom, and I'm so lazy I keep forgetting to look at what kind of light bulb that is, because it is not a normal light bulb. It's inside the like the fan thing, and it's a weird looking light bulb I've never seen before, so I have to look at what that's called, like what the wattage is on it and everything. So I didn't film anything today. I'm waiting for Steven to get home, actually, because he just called me. He's leaving work now. But I had something to come on here and talk about, and now I can't remember what the hell I was gonna say. Oh, damn it. I don't remember now. Great. I don't know why that keeps happening. I started kind of cleaning Aiden's room today. I moved some stuff around. I moved his bureau, and I think I like it better where I have it now, because there's kind of more room. But I'm also going to get rid of that DVD rack, because he never watches those DVDs, and like I'm going to still keep them. I'm just going to put them in one of those storage things under his bed. So I was toying with the idea of turning his bed back into the loft bed, like it was when it was in this room. But that was such a pain in the ass to change the sheets when it was like that. And like, if I do that, I could put his dresser under the bed and some other stuff, but then like I lose all the storage under his bed that he has right now, which is basically just all his board games and stuff, which I want to get into his closet anyway. I'm just like, this is going to be a daunting task, cleaning out that closet, because I did a lot as I was moving his stuff from this closet into that closet, but then I just wanted to finish by the end of the day, and I was just throwing stuff in there. So it's a friggin' mess. Nothing is organized. There's still some stuff that is like my crap in there at the top of his closet. The closet in his room actually has shelving and stuff, so it's got a good amount of storage. This closet, as big as it is, needs new shelving across the top, because I think I've shown you before, whoever was here before ripped the shelves out, and like it either wasn't hung in there right, like they didn't go into the studs in the wall, and it felt like there was heavy stuff on the shelves and it got torn out because it fell out, or they just ripped it out violently and didn't freaking want it anymore. I don't know why you would have taken shelves out of this closet, because there would be so much more storage in there if there was shelves. And all I have to do really is go through the trouble of friggin' measuring and getting the shelves from Home Depot, because they were just like those white wire shelves, I'm assuming. I just have to make sure I get some that's long enough because this is a pretty long closet. Or like 2 pieces that I can hang side by side. I don't know. There's so many like closet made, everything is closet made on Home Depot's site. Closet Made and Everbuilt. So it is Wednesday, and I'm a little concerned that Aiden might have made himself throw up this morning because he didn't want to do school. Like, I woke up because he was making noise and bouncing around and playing and stuff. My hair is a mess. I didn't, just side note, I washed it last night and then didn't put anything in it because I had the intent to straighten it this morning and I haven't done it yet because I have to go to the dentist tomorrow. So I was considering canceling that too because I really don't feel like going. But I'm debating it because if I'm gonna cancel it, I have to do it today. So I just have to decide that later. But anyway, I woke up to him making noise and playing like normal. And then as soon as I told him it was time for school, he all of a sudden didn't feel good. And I was like, you have to do school. I'm not calling you out. Like, I figured he was just didn't feel like doing school today. And then all of a sudden he runs in the bathroom and throws up. And I was like, okay, well, after that, I like tried to get him to go on the computer and do his morning work and stuff. And he was just like hanging around like this and didn't want to do it. And I don't know, he's got an upset stomach again from something, but like he was also eating stuff this morning, so I don't know why he was eating if he had an upset tummy. But anyway, I told his speech therapist he wasn't going to be in this morning, and I told the school, so anyway, I'm kind of not mad about it because now I can get more stuff done today, but also I don't need them getting pissed at me for calling him out again. I've only called him out once since we had COVID, and that time was fine because it was just like this. I told him he had an upset stomach and he wasn't going to be in, and it was fine, but yeah. I have so much crap to do. I've been like I've talked about it already, I've been on like a spring cleaning kick, so I've been like, my brain is doing like 20 different things. Like I'll stop to do something and then I'm like, oh, I have to vacuum in here. And then I start vacuuming and forget what I was going to do in the first place. And it's just like, I can't focus on anything. There's so many little projects I want to do around the house, and like on top of work-related stuff that I have to do in here. So it's like I start doing work stuff and then I go downstairs for something, and like just now I started doing work stuff and then I went downstairs and started Swiffering the floor in the kitchen with the wet mop thing, the wet Swiffer. And then when I went underneath the sink to get the wet mop things in the first place, I saw the magic erasers, and that reminded me that I wanted to clean the bathroom sink up here. And then I started doing the shower doors with it, and now here I am recording a video instead of trying to get some more work done. I have a bunch of packages that are going out this weekend. I just have to put labels on them today to send them out this weekend, and I'm pretty much caught up on all the orders except for the few that I got this past week when I had that mystery box sale, and then of course the orders that ordered multi-chrome pigments, the multi-chrome eyeshadows, because those are not all made yet. So just planning on not having another sale or another big sale anyway until, when is Mother's Day? I'll just make the next sale a Mother's Day sale, and then that'll work out well because it'll give me, it's the 14th. So that'll give me 2 weeks, well, the rest of this week and all of next week to catch up on stuff and not be worrying about, oh, I have to do this and I have to do that. I can get all the cleaning stuff done that I wanted to do around the house and then worry more about work stuff. But what is this? Just going through emails right now. Getting this stuff done. You okay? Throwing up again. Okay, At least he made it to the toilet. He's just throwing up water because I made him drink water this morning because I didn't want him to get dehydrated. I'm trying to make him stay in bed. He's like, if you don't feel good, don't be bouncing around. You're just going to aggravate it. My back is still hurting me. Like, there was a couple days that it was fine again, and then it's got to be my mattress because, like, the mattress is so friggin' old that there's a big dip in the middle of it. And, like, the way that I sleep, the dip is, like, where my lower back is. So whenever I do hurt myself somehow, it just aggravates it. And then it takes forever for it to feel better because I'm sleeping on a shit mattress. So, like I said yesterday, that's another thing that I have to work on is getting a new mattress. And like I said, Steven and I have 2 full mattresses because neither of us can sleep with each other. Like, he is always way too hot, so he says I put off way too much body heat, and like that's what makes him uncomfortable sleeping, and I can't sleep right next to him because he freaking snores. So it's beneficial to our marriage to sleep in 2 separate beds. Some people think that's so weird, but I'm like, if we slept in the same bed like we did when we first got together, I don't know how we slept. But now, we'd be fighting all the time. We would never get any sleep. Like, it is totally beneficial to us to have separate beds. So like I said, I have to buy 2 of them. And then Aiden will need a twin size mattress soon too, because his is not as old as ours, but it's getting to like the springs inside, you can feel them. So that too. You feel better now that you barfed everywhere?
Yeah. Hi. Today I'm really well.
You're really well now? You weren't really well a few minutes ago. Oh, Aiden. I just got an email that MeUndies came out with new Star Wars ones, the new Grogu ones, because I have, when they came out with the first Grogu undies, it was the first time I ever ordered from there because I got the matching ones. I got the boxers for Steven and I got the underwear for me. And now they have a different design. These are black. The other ones were blue. Those are seriously the most comfortable pair of underwear I own. And I wish they weren't as expensive as they are because I would like redo my underwear drawer and just have MeUndies. Like, I know all the YouTube people are always promoting it and stuff, but it really is super comfy underwear. There's no like, it's just all seamless. It's like that super soft material, and there's no like weird elastic bands or anything. Because like sometimes you get underwear and they have that tight the tightness around the leg holes. I hate that. Like, I don't want it tight around my thigh. And when there's like no give to it and no elasticity, I friggin' hate that. But yeah, these are like, they're $26 for one pair. Or those are the $26 for the like the men's stuff. And the women's ones are $20 a pair. I decided to start Aiden's closet, and I should have filmed what it looked like before I took a bunch of stuff out, because I literally just took a bag of trash out. But I'm pretty much done with the right side. Let me open that up. So I have to do the top shelf. I didn't do that yet. And my old bathrobe is still in here, but he's got some hoodies. This was all packed with stuff before, so I can actually see carpet in there. And then the other side, this is a bunch of my crap still that didn't even get touched when I did the closet move before. Now I gotta go through all these things. And then I just ran downstairs to get more trash bags. All his friggin' Hot Wheels that he doesn't even play with anymore. I should just donate those. I don't know what we're going to do with them. As soon as he sees them, he's probably going to want to play with them. But this thing is going to need to go back in there because this is stuffed animals. And then it's just a mess. It's stuff I'm trying to decide what's staying and what's going, so I'm gonna work on it some more. All right, it's so much better than it was. I'm gonna do the top part once I get the shelving from my closet, because this stuff is most likely gonna go in there. But like everything else, this is all going somewhere else. So it's all stuff that's not taking up room in his closet anymore. And like, I don't really hang his clothes up because all his clothes are in his dresser, except for the hoodies that are in the closet. So it made a lot of room in here, at least. It's a lot neater in here now. Okay, hopefully this isn't too crooked, but I'm using the phone stand for my tripod thing that I never really used these two together. I'm just doing some makeup because I have to go to the dentist later, and I think I want to try out the Alice in Wonderland palette because I haven't used this yet. I actually haven't used the Legend of Korra one on my eyes yet either, so I'm not going to go too crazy because I'm just going to the dentist, but I do want to try out some of the colors in here, and there's not really like a champagne-y color. I don't want to do super colorful for just going to the dentist, but I'm also gonna try out this new primer I got. Essence has an eye primer now called Prime Like a Boss eyeshadow base. This is a little teeny tiny thing of it, but I do like that it's a squeezy tube, like what do you call it? I don't even know if the Urban Decay Primer Potion is in a squeeze tube anymore or not. That's how long it's been since I've bought it, because I've been using the ColourPop Party Proof one, which works just fine for me, but I hate the packaging on here. It's got a wand in it, and you can tell there's a bunch of product in here, but it's hard to get because this is like a squeeze tube. I don't know why they didn't just make it a little squeeze tube with a tip like the one that's on this new one that I just got. Just a little fine point tip so that you don't squeeze out too much at a time. But anyways, before I do that, I'm gonna do my eyebrows a little bit. Actually, the first thing I'm going to do is put on some friggin' lip balm because my lips are really chapped. I just got this too. This is like a mini Ulta haul because I just got that primer with this. This is a new, I think it's new anyway, lip mask from Tony Moly. Tony Moly Lychee Jelly Lip Melt. I got this because it was so friggin' cute. It's like a little bunt cake pan. But I got the lychee flavor. I think there's 3 or 4 different ones. I think they had watermelon and something else. It's just a clear, and it's kind of bouncy, but it's kind of sticky too. I don't know, I really like it so far. Like, if you don't like sticky lip gloss or sticky stuff on your lips, you're probably not gonna like it. It smells really nice. And I find that the stickier ones tend to have longer lasting power anyway. Where's the wipe that I just had? So I like those better. That was the main reason I liked the MAC lip glasses so much, because they were so sticky. They lasted a long time. That reminds me that I recently repurchased my favorite one, because I had been going through and decluttering all my lip stuff and realized that that one was really old. But I liked it so much I rebought it, and now I don't know what I did with it. What is wrong with me? Why do I do that all the time? Right here. This is the new one, right? Yeah, because I threw away the old one. It was all gross. Rags to Riches. This is my favorite MAC Dazzle glass. Sorry, it's not a lip glass. It's the Dazzle glass one. Because it's glittery, but it's not like super in your face. It's just a sparkly lip gloss, and I like it a lot, but I just put that stuff on, so I'm not going to put this on. And I have to go to the dentist anyway, so I'm going to take off whatever's on my lips before I go. Ew, what's all over this? I think I just got lip balm on the back of this. Anyway, I was going to use the Cotton Candy Queen palette again today, but like I said, I don't want super colorful. I'm just going to the dentist. I feel like I gotta start wearing color corrector around my eyes, because like around my eyes looks like friggin' yellowish, and then my cheeks are always red. I don't know. I never use color corrector stuff, and I feel like I need to start doing it. But I need to find a champagne-y color, which I might end up using. Did this one have any in there like that? No, the Legend of Korra one doesn't really have a light enough one either. I need to just go through my single shadows and have a single out on top that I use all the time. Oh, I have my Huda, however you say this, Huda Beauty. God, that one made a mess. You know what? I thought that one had a champagne in it, but I guess not. Did this one? Why is it? Okay, I'll use the Galaxy shade from the, what is this one? Mercury Retrograde, which I think is one of the ones you gotta use on your finger anyway. I'm gonna use this in conjunction with the Alice in Wonderland palette. The color stories kind of go together nicely. I can hold it up and show you in a sec. Kind of just happened to have this one out on the desk, so I just, when I'm doing just a quick makeup look, I just like a champagne or like a shimmery neutral color as my, if not all over eyeshadow color, at least the inner part of my eyelid. Time I try to do makeup, whenever I do it on camera, it's like my eye just wants to be like, I'm gonna screw you up on purpose. So adding some purple to it made it a little colorful, but not too much. I'm just gonna go back into that other shimmery shade to kind of blend it. Because the metallic shades in the Huda palettes are so pretty, but they have almost a cream texture to them. They're not cream shadows per se, but they don't want to pick up on even a flat brush very well. Or like the brush that I use will pick them up, but then it doesn't want to deposit the color onto my eyelid very well, so the best way to use them is just pick them up with your finger. The best way to use any metallic shadow like that tends to not want to get off your brush is to just use a finger, but then it's harder to blend, but that's okay. And I have not been wearing eyeliner, like black liner on the top at all lately. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just because I'm getting older. I don't want to wear black eyeliner all the time. So just using mascara has been enough. But I did have someone ask on the video that I did for the Kaleidos liners if these like deposit color good on the waterline and if they stay. And I honestly haven't tried them on the waterline yet. So I think I might. My eyes tend to get irritated when I put stuff on the waterline. I kind of want to make sure I dry it off first, but I don't have any Q-tips. Let me go try and find a Q-tip, which is like, this is like the purpley green one, shifting one. And kind of make sure my waterline is dry first. Don't know how long that's going to last because my eyes are pretty watery today. So it kind of just looks iridescent, which is kind of weird seeing that on the waterline. I don't know how good that's going to show up. But we'll see if it lasts. This is the purpley green one, right? Yeah, I mean, when you swatch this, it's pretty dark. But on the waterline, it for some reason doesn't really... Oh, I guess when I move up, you can kind of see it's darker. It's just because it's such a shifty color. Oh, I didn't dry this waterline off first. Well, we'll see the comparison. So this is going to be the one that I didn't dry off first, and then this one. They applied pretty much the same. If anything, the one I didn't dry off first applied smoother. It does look kind of cool. I didn't even think to try them on the waterline because I never wear anything on my waterline. That used to be something that I always had to have black eyeliner on my waterline. I never do it anymore because my eyes just get so irritated when I put stuff there. But let's hope that this doesn't... I mean, it's not black, so if it starts collecting in the corner of my eye, it's not going to be as noticeable. But this is good enough for now. Just a quick... If it actually stays on, that might be something I start doing, is using those in the waterline. Because I didn't think how cool it would look to have mega chrome liners on the waterline. I hope they're safe to do that with. I haven't like seen or heard anybody using them on the waterline yet. But I mean, it's like a cream eyeliner, so I would think it's made the same as other ones are. Oh, see, this eye is watering so much. Hasn't really wiped off at all yet, though, considering my eye is like tearing in the corner. I'm not gonna bother with like blush and stuff. I do want to put a little bit of face powder on, though. I've been using the friggin' KVD one that I used the other day when I went out. And remembering how much I love it, because it's kind of helping tone down the redness of my cheeks. So I gotta see if they still have something like this, because I know they have that Good Apple foundation now. But I've heard that it's like more for dry skin, and I tend to get very oily, especially in the summer, so it's not worth it to me to buy one that's gonna make me super oily, or even more oily than I already am. I just like this one because a little goes a long way, and you can't see it on your face. Like, you know when you put powder on and you can see it? Because I have kind of big pores on my nose. And whenever I use a different kind of powder, you can totally see it just sitting there. Okay, so it's only about 15 minutes later and my eyes are kind of burning. So I'm not sure if these are like appropriate to use on the waterline. I'm actually gonna look that up right now because I want to know if they're like not supposed to be used there. Looking at their website, it doesn't have any pictures of people using them on the waterline. Like, they have it on their lower lash line, but none of the pictures have them on the waterline. So I'm not sure how smart that was to stick it on the waterline. I think I'm gonna go wipe it off just because my eyes are burning now. And I don't know if it's just like an ingredient in it or if you're just not supposed to use them on the waterline at all. But it did look cool for a little bit, but I'm gonna go clean it off, I think, because I really wanted to try it and see how long it lasts. I don't know. We'll see how much longer I can stand it. If it lasts, it lasts. I am back from the dentist. I've already taken a shower. I'm changed into my PJs. So I'm going to remember here to put in about the eyeliner. I left it on for about 10 more minutes and then I had to take it off, but it was hard to take off. So it has good staying power. It shows up on the waterline, but I'm not sure if it's supposed to go on the waterline. And I have to answer that person who commented on the video about it, asking if I had used it on the waterline yet. I wouldn't recommend it, especially if you have sensitive eyes. But I was left with like green sparkles on the waterline until I took a shower and washed everything off. Used my makeup remover and everything. But that is why I wasn't too concerned with doing makeup today, because I literally just wore it to the dentist and then came home and took a shower. And my mouth is sore. I always, friggin' cleanings, my gums always bleed, no matter what. I've been so good with keeping up with flossing and stuff lately. Because they're like, the more often you do it, the less your gums will bleed. Not me. It's freaking ridiculous, and it hurts whenever they scrape at you with that little thing. But I had to have x-rays again because it's been a year since I started going to this place, so that wasn't bad. Although she did my cleaning first and then the x-rays after, and she left the, like, you know how they put that little bib on you? She left that on me, and it had like my drool and blood and stuff on it, and she just put the freaking thing on top of it that goes on everybody else. So it's like, how many people's like bodily fluids are on that thing that you just laid on top of mine? Ugh, I don't even want to think about that. It's a germ thing. I don't want to think about it. That's why I came home and I took a shower. But then the dentist came in to do the exam, which is literally him looking in my mouth for like 15 seconds. And he's really nice and I like him, but he had no mask on. And I know that like nobody's wearing masks anymore and stuff, but like in that profession, why would you not want to wear a mask when you're in people's mouths? Like, some people have really gross breath, and like, why does that not bother him? I guess he's just been doing it for a long time. I don't know. He's not like an old guy. He's like freaking probably mid 40s, late 40s. He doesn't look like he's much older than Steven. But anyway, he didn't have a mask on, so I was like, you've been in people's faces all day, you better not get me sick. But, yeah, now I can relax. Don't have to go back until November. Oh, new episode of Dr. Pimple Popper, so I will watch that. That's pretty much it. I don't really have much else to talk about. So we've been redoing stuff in Aiden's room, and we just put up
All the rainbow lights are going.
rainbow lights. The only thing, and it's gonna aggravate me, is it wasn't quite long enough. Literally, what is that, like 3 feet? It came with 2 50-foot rolls. This is just one of the 50-foot rolls. So like, if you could cut it, it would be so much easier, but you can't cut it because obviously then the circuit is not connected and the lights won't work. But I had to clean the walls first so that it would stick in case there's any dust or anything. And then they went up a lot quicker than I thought they were going to because there's just sticky stuff on the back. So it plugs in behind his bed, and you kind of have to point the remote control at that thing to get it to work, so he won't be able to screw with it all the time. But he's got it on the fade now, but I like that you can have just red or just blue. I'm not close enough to it. Hold on. I'll do it this way. Just red, or just green, or just blue. I'm sure everybody's seen these, but I'm amazed by them because I've never had them. So, other than the little spot that doesn't reach over here, it's going to drive me nuts. It looks pretty cool. But he likes the fade, so I'm going to keep it on fade. And these were only $14 for 2 50-foot rolls, so like, I just have to get another connector, and then I can put the other 50-foot roll somewhere else. But it looks pretty cool. And we got rid of the, his dresser is not over here anymore, and we cleaned up a bunch of stuff, so he's got extra space over there. And we got rid of the hutch thing that his TV was in, that was kind of blocking his curtain. So now that curtain is totally not blocked. This curtain just has the TV in front of it. And we're getting to it. Like, there's still all this stuff on the floor, but we're gonna scoot this table back where it goes. This is, what do you call it? The step stool's only in here because I needed it so I could reach. And this was not a good thing to do while my back is killing me, because now my back hurts even more. What are you eating? Oh, okay. Do you like your rainbow lights?
Yeah.
Okay, good, I'm glad. Steven is probably going to be calling me any minute because it is 3:56 and he gets out at 4. But my back was already hurting, and I decided to do those lights because they came in today for Aiden. He had been asking me for the rainbow lights that he keeps seeing all his friends have in their rooms. And they went up pretty quickly. Like, once I got the hang of it, it was easy to do. But my back hurts so much worse now. That was such a bad idea to do that today. But he's really happy and excited, and he doesn't want to turn his room light on now because he just wants the colorful lights on. So I was hoping that they would be like not as bright so that he could use that as a nightlight, but that's going to be too much to use as a nightlight. They're very bright. I should have known because LED lights are super bright. Because like when I was watching videos about how to put them up like the most effectively so that you don't have a strip going up the middle of your wall because of where the stupid outlets are. The ones that the people had that I was watching, like you could connect them one strip to another up on the ceiling, but the way these are, they only have the connection like to the plug. So like I would have had to connect it to the plug, run it all the way up the corner like I did, and then run a whole nother 50 feet around. Like, it doesn't make sense, so I'll just leave that little 3-foot space, and it will aggravate me because it is not all the way around the room, but it's good for now because they were just, he was super excited about getting those, and I didn't tell him that I had ordered them, and they came today, so I was like, I gotta put them up. But yeah, it's Friday. I don't know if I'll be posting any, I'm recording anything else, but I'll probably end the vlog here. I can't believe how long my hair has gotten again already. Or like, remember when I cut it really short? It was like up to my shoulders, and now it's already halfway down my back when I straighten it. It's ridiculous. I'm gonna end up chopping some again soon because I have so much hair. I don't want a ton of it in the summertime. So it is Saturday. I'm excited because I got caught up on most of the stuff I could get caught up on work-wise yesterday, so that Steven just took everything to the post office for me. We got our Dunkin' Donuts this morning, our Saturday ritual, and I poured it into this cup because this is like the only cup I use now. My friend Cassie got this for me my last birthday, and it's got Hocus Pocus and just Halloween-y stuff all over it. But this is a new, I don't know if it's for summertime or springtime or what. Like I got it on the app and noticed that they had a new drink, a new refresher, and those are usually very hit or miss because I don't like the dragon fruit one that much, or the passion fruit one. I think it's like strawberry, dragon fruit, and peach passion fruit. Those are the ones they have all the time, and they're not that good. And then last summer they came out with that blood orange one, and I loved that one so much. It was just like a super refreshing one. But when they, like, for some reason, whenever I like ordered it for delivery, they never knew how to make it, or they were just making it wrong on purpose, because they were like 4 or 5 times they were giving me ice water with the dragon fruit flavor in it, and I'm like, what the hell is this? This isn't even a drink. So like that was a bummer because there was a bunch of times I didn't get it made right. I should have just gone there myself. That way if they handed me the wrong thing, because like the dragon fruit one was pink all the time, and the blood orange refresher was supposed to be like red with orange in it. But anyway, I was hoping they would bring that one back. Maybe they will in the summertime. But this one is watermelon raspberry, and I got the lemonade one because I tend to like the lemonade ones more than the tea or they do tea, lemonade, or coconut milk, which is just blah for these drinks, the refresher drinks. So the watermelon raspberry lemonade, and this one's really good. I guess they made it right. I typically really don't like watermelon flavoring. Like, I like regular watermelon, the fruit, but not, I'm like that with a few things. Banana, I like bananas, don't like banana flavored stuff. And I like watermelon, but I don't like watermelon flavored stuff. But this, you can't really taste watermelon in it. It's mostly, it's very raspberry. And maybe that's just the person that made it, and I'll get it next time and it'll be gross. But for now, this is the first time I've tried it, and it's pretty good. Jet puffed color changing marshmallows. How are those a good idea when everybody's complaining about like colorants being in foods and stuff? Secret color changing ingredient that causes the marshmallow to transform right before your eyes. So like red, pink to orange and blue to green. I don't know, that that doesn't seem like it's gonna be a big seller when everybody's all like, oh, they put red 40 in everything. We can't have that. And then, like, the thing with Skittles and everybody freaking out about titanium dioxide, like, I use titanium dioxide every day because it's in eyeshadows and stuff. And it's a white powder. And, like, yes, you wear a mask so that you're not breathing it in and stuff. But everybody's like, you can't ingest it and stuff like that. It's in everything, if you pay attention. It's not just Skittles. Titanium dioxide is what makes all the pills you take white. Like, if you look on a bottle of, like, Tylenol or friggin' Aleve or any of those pills, they have titanium dioxide in them. So you've been ingesting it, like, your whole life. Don't get so upset over Skittles. Anyway, that's my rant for the day. But, did you just clog the toilet? Aiden. I have to go check on that now because I didn't hear it flush all the way. But I'm going to end the vlog for the week now, and I'll talk to you guys next week.